There's usually some low-hanging fruit you can get when first launching a website, places you can very quickly place links. In this lesson, we'll look at some of the first places you should think of when you begin building links to your site. The very first places, of course, are on any other websites you own or manage. It's more than 2 decades since the summer when the world began flooding onto the World Wide Web, the summer of 1994. And over that time, hundreds of millions of websites have been created. Some, perhaps, by you. In some cases, almost forgotten. Whatever websites you do have, go place links on them to your new site. In fact, you may have already done so, as we discussed this issue earlier in the course when I explained how to get your site indexed. Don't forget your social networking accounts. Link from any and all that you have. Now, in most cases these days, social network links are going to be no-follow links, but nonetheless, I think you should link. In fact, the issue around social networking and no-follow links is something we'll come back to in a later lesson. For now, I just say you should do it, and at the very least, there's a chance you'll get some traffic from the links. And contrary to what I discussed in the lesson on no-follow links, such links on social networking sites may have additional benefits. What next? Friends, family, colleagues. Put together a list of the people you know who have websites, blogs, and social networking accounts, and ask them to link to you. Announce your site to your closest 1,000 friends on Facebook or LinkedIn, and see how many you can get to link. Remember my discussion of this in the lesson on the ideal link. You know what the ideal link should look like, so tell them what you want. What anchor text to use, that you want the link high up on a page, inside content, and so on. And don't forget your employees if you have any. Ask them to announce the site and link to it. How about directories? I won't go into detail because we've looked at the concept of getting linked from directory websites a couple of times. Firstly in the section of the course dedicated to listing and directories, and also when I explained local marketing to you. But these are often easy links to get, and something you can do while multitasking in front of the TV in the evening. A low-stress link-building technique. Now we're going to have to think a little harder, to reach a little higher to get to the fruit. Think about all the companies you do business with. Will any of them link to you? If you're selling products online, will the manufacturers or distributors link to you? They often do, and those are often really good links, and I've seen sites do incredibly well with such links, not just from SEO, but also getting traffic to their sites through those links. You sometimes see companies that have featured clients. These can be a great link opportunity. How about companies you sell to or provide services to, or who provide services to you? Would a phone call result in a link? Often companies like to list their clients, so see if some of your suppliers or service providers have such a list, and if so, get on it. Another possibility are the association websites. Are you a member of some kind of business association that has a directory linking to member sites? If so, get listed as soon as you can. Before we move on, let me just discuss one form of low-hanging fruit that is no longer viable, reciprocal linking. I still get business people asking about this kind of linking, but it's really not valuable anymore. Reciprocal linking is when A links to site B and site B links back to site A. Essentially, a site contacts the other and says, hey, links are good to help us get ranked in the search engines, so why don't you link to me and I'll link to you? In fact, a whole industry grew up around this, around reciprocal linking. Various services and software programs are business related to the creation and management of reciprocal links, and sites often had hundreds, if not thousands, of such links. Sites had link exchanges, lists of the companies linking to them with links back. This site, Candles by Victoria, used to rank number 1 in the United States for the term candles through this form of link campaign. But from a search engine standpoint, reciprocal linking just doesn't make any sense. Why would they reward a reference website because someone else links to the site only because the reference site links back? So reciprocal linking just doesn't work anymore, and I wouldn't recommend it. The only reason I'm mentioning it is to say don't bother. So you might want to take a few minutes now and think about the low-hanging fruit. Where are you going to find the first links? Who do you know who will be willing to help? I wouldn't rush through this phase because, quite frankly, link building gets harder from here on out.